Live from 864 Sound in Greenville, South Carolina, it's the Wash Bros Podcast with your hosts, Matt Jackson and Clay Smith.
What's up, guys? It's Matt Jackson and Clay Smith, and we are the Wash Bros. Welcome to episode 18. It's been a little bit of time since we've been in the studio, but we've both been doing a lot. You want to kick it off with all the growth and new things you're working on?
Yeah, we've been really busy.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty busy fall, I would say, for the both of us, really. I know a lot of guys they're into the Christmas lights and what else do they do?
Gutter cleaning is
gutter
popular
cleaning and
too.
stuff like that is pretty popular. But me and you we're kicking it pretty strong still, washing. So
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I find it could be easy to jump into that new shiny object, and it seems like Christmas lights, everybody loves to try to jump into that because it's like the next gold rush. But I mean, how you and I have done it, we just double down on what we're doing and then just take that market share.
yeah, the biggest thing is just I would say for me, it just plug away. You know, keep plugging, plug harder than you did in the spring. I mean, it's like we always say, anybody that's got a heartbeat and is breathing can make it through the spring. But what are you doing differently in the winter to keep on moving with the same service?
Yep. Like you're planting seeds now for the winter and for that next spring. So that's going to help you really grow next year when the business is good, when everybody's like, oh man, I've seen you all fall, all winter. Like, and then when the leads come in, you're getting most of those leads.
Yeah, just taking, like you said, part of our market share. And the biggest thing for me as far as the growth part is just surrounding myself with the people that are doing better than me. You know, put my ego aside and just put myself in position to where I'm surrounded by people who excel in areas that I don't. And that's definitely helped me a lot. Just put my ego aside and just listen to what other people have to say has helped me. I mean, it's helped me a ton. So
Yeah, last time we did our episode, I guess we came back from our convention, and then you made a lot of good connections there, and you got a skid set up in a truck, and now you're looking at expanding into another truck.
yeah, so just bought our second truck. Not many people know yet, but we're getting ready. We're on the list to get a wrap put on it. So truck number 2 on the way. We've already been in contact with Casey down at C3 about another skid. We love the first skid that we bought down there in Daytona. Casey's been good to me. Great customer service for you guys. If you guys are looking to get a top-notch skid, definitely recommend C3 Skids down in Daytona with Casey. If you can't get in touch with him, get in touch with me, and I'll make sure that you get a hold of him. But we have bought our second truck, and it's going to be our second wash truck. We've like you said, I've made a lot of good connections. We have a lot of residual buildup, which is key into moving into the what a lot of people call slower season. And like me and you were talking about not long ago, if you are already in the mindset that there is a slow season, then it's going to be slow for you. But if you're in the mindset that there's no slow season, you're going to keep plugging away and you're going to keep busy.
That's true. Yeah, you just, instead of, I heard a quote the other day. It was actually a good quote. It said like a pessimist will, it's like a pessimist will always be right, but an optimist will always find the win in the situation. They'll always find the opportunity. So like if you're like, oh man, it's a slow season. Yeah, I mean technically you're right. It is a slow season.
Yeah.
But if you're an optimist, you're going to look at that and say, oh, look at all these opportunities, and then you're going to secure some of these like relationship contracts with builders and like repeat business that's really allowing you to grow when everybody else is retracting.
Yeah, so the residual, I would say, that's kind of like the baby step, or the baby step to growth is kind of like what I've been seeing, like just stepping back with all the residual that I have. I'm like, okay, now this is what makes it easier to grow. I know that I can count on this much money next year, and that's basically going to pay for my employees, all my equipment, all my maintenance, all my marketing, and now all I got to do is go out and chase some more work.
Yeah, you've built that base below, so
yeah, it's like a 3-step process. I was looking at something the other day. Couldn't tell you what I was looking at because I'm ADD, so I just take bits and pieces and run with it.
there you go.
But yeah, so another thing that we did was I've hired my first guy. Pretty much I've hired 2 guys, but my first guy's already started. We're doing dry vent cleaning. He's in doing the dry vent cleaning, and that has been a great service. I think I've gotten more leads for that than I have pressure washing here in the last month since we kicked it off. And, you know, the biggest thing I've had experience in management and stuff like that, but I've already given this guy responsibility from the rip. Like, hey, I trust you. Hey, run with this. Hey, let's go make some money together, right? And I think that employees respect that a little bit just because you're not micromanaging. I remember as a manager or when I was in the lead of a department, it was always like somebody was breathing down my neck. And I don't want to make that for my employees, you know. I want to correct them when they do wrong, and then I want to teach them to do right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially like we have adults who are hiring,
Right.
and I see certain people. They're like, "Oh, my employees are going to do exactly what I say because I'm the boss." I was like, everybody complains about, "Oh, nobody wants to work nowadays," but are we empowering our employees, or are we just simply telling them this is what you're going to do, or we're going to fire you? Like, the economy is how it is, where we don't have the privilege to treat people bad,
Right.
and we got to figure out how to coach them and lead them so they're motivated and have like an ownership mindset of. Like that way too, like if you send them out, they're not just, oh, we're working by the hour. We're just going to dick through these jobs.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. A lot of people that I hang out with are leaders and managers. And sometimes I hear some people complaining about their employees not doing right, or they've screwed something up, or they really screwed up, right? And all it is lack of training and lack of, you know, holding that employee accountable, right? And it's kind of like a football team. Like if you don't hold them accountable, they're going to play out shit, right? So
yeah,
the way I look at it is I'm starting to put my team together. Who do I want in place, and who is going to be the best fit for me?
It's smart that you're doing it too, like going into that quote unquote slow season, where you're not, oh my gosh, we're needing people to be like fully up and running, and then I'm just hoping these jobs that we're sending them out to that you're training them on aren't like going bad.
Right, it's less stressful. And so like 6 months or 7, 8 months ago, that was something that was in the back of my head. I'm like, okay, how can I set myself up to be able to afford an employee and be able to train them properly? Why it's slow, quote unquote, slow. And that way I'm not like rushing, it's less stressful. And then I just feel like if you throw them it's like, if you throw them out in a pack of wolves and you say, okay, go do it. Here's 4 houses to wash today. I don't feel like I don't think that's good business. So if I can give them 2 houses a day and say, okay, this is what we're doing, you know, slowly, or go out there with them 4 houses a day or whatnot. It's all about just being, it's all about the mindset, just thinking a lot smarter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think you're doing an awesome job too. I mean, think about where you were this time last year.
Right.
You had a trailer, not a wrap truck, and then you pretty much were using an 8-gallon minute that I gave you. That was like,
yeah. So so the 4-gallon a minute thing, I was like, I'm going to be with a 4-gallon a minute forever. I don't need an 8-gallon a minute machine. Screw everybody else. Everybody's telling me I need an 8-gallon a minute machine. I'm going to keep digging with this 4-gallon a minute. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with a 4-gallon a minute machine, right? I made a lot of money with my 4-gallon a minute machine. Still got it. It's at my maintenance guy's shop. I just ain't picked it up. But the 8-gallon a minute was a game changer. I mean, it took obviously you basically giving me one to try it out, to see for myself. And I would say that would be the stepping stone to growing and being able to take on more work confidently. You know, because I think I was maxed out at like 2, sometimes 3 jobs a day, depending on the job. But like there was so many days that I was 4 and 5 jobs a day this year. So that was definitely a growing point.
Especially if you're doing like big rinsing jobs, like on these commercial projects, you get like, you can't really get by with a 4-gallon.
No, I mean, I did one time, we did a big car wash, what was that, like 2 years ago, early last year, something like that. And we was like 7.5 gallons a minute. It took us 3 nights. Now I could go out there and probably do it a night.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, you know, 16 gallons a minute versus 7 gallons a minute. So you do the math.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely, time is money.
Yeah. And you know, I was talking to my dryer vent guy the other day, and I'm like, look, man, you know, this is your department. You're in control of this. This is what you know, I know he asks me a lot of questions all the time, and he's just like, what do I say to this? I'm like, man, this is your show. You got this, right? Just building confidence in your employees, I think, is a huge, huge thing. And he's like, man, none of these people are messaging back. I said, just trust the process. Right.
So are you allowing him to do the quotes and stuff like that? You giving him leads?
So we pretty much had a big sit down, and we talked with each other, and we're on the same mindset, right? And I'm kind of just mentoring him, you know, just kind of being a shoulder to lean on, letting him run with it, let him do his thing. Because his biggest thing was he just wants some more responsibility, wants to do his own schedule, he wants to, you know, whatever. And I said, okay, I mean, if this is what you want to run with it, and here it is. Here's the lead. So we've worked out a good business deal on that, and he's done awesome. We're teaching him how to wash too, so whenever I need him and I need to rely on him, he can go out there and take care of it. Maybe, you never know, he might be a VP one day or something.
Right? Yeah, you never know like what relationship the people that you're building in your team are gonna pan out to. I mean, you meet people and you're like, oh, this guy's cool, and I'm just pouring into that person, and then they kind of blow up, or they are a vital person in your company.
Well, it's like us, just keep duplicating yourself, right? So that's the biggest thing for me, and Kellen's done a great job with that. Shout out to Kellen. And I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to see what's going on with that. You know, our market's not too crazy with the dry vent cleaning compared to the pressure washing, so that gets me very, very excited to knowing what I've done in the pressure washing market with a saturated industry, and going into the dry vent cleaning has been awesome. We still have a long way to go, a lot to learn, but we got some great equipment that does just as good as anybody else's. So.
Yeah, and it's cool. You're smart because you went with somebody who had like the technical background in that industry,
right,
versus having to learn it yourself.
Yeah, he come from a very well-known franchise. I'm not going to say where, but he had already had the cleaning mindset. So yeah, it wasn't pressure washing, but you know, carpet cleaning and stuff like that. He already had a big. He already knew how to work a CRM. He already knew how to deal with customers. So that was a big plus. I was willing to give up a decent percentage for that. So
yeah, but I mean, now you're starting to think about like stacking stuff.
Right.
It's like, hey, you got this guy doing this, you got this guy doing this. You're feeding a lot of people, but at the same time, you're still getting fed yourself.
Right. Yeah, it's just you know, just mentoring guys, pointing them in the right direction, and making sure they're treating your customers right. The main thing, you know, because one wrong move can destroy your whole brand, right? So,
that's true.
But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's probably a good wrapping point.
Good wrapping point for episode 18. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of cool things coming from C3 Wash Bros.
Yeah, C3 Wash Bros is kicking it. We're excited to see where it takes us for sure. If you guys haven't liked our page on Facebook or Matt the Dryway Guy, give us a follow, maybe a Google review. Just search us. We're in the Greenville, South Carolina area. Any of you guys want some merch? We're still working on merch. We haven't really had much.
We always count on the downtime.
Yeah,
it's a slow season, the off season, but we never get it.
Right. We're in today's November 1st, so
yeah,
we're recording on November 1st. But I think we got our first 32 degree night. So
yep,
it's getting a little cold. We have mornings now, just waiting on it to warm up so we can get out and wash. But
yep,
yeah, if you guys would like us, subscribe us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the whole nine. We do plan on going to the convention in February. I forget the name of it, in Orlando.
Yep.
So we hope to see you guys there, and we'll look forward to seeing you in episode 19.
Oh yeah. See you guys.
See you.